What does Oklahoma State's offense do well that has your attention?
It's tricky, I'm a little concerned that they've had so much evolution this year. It started off, I think, with Coach Gundy's influence, and then as that changed, and the offensive coordinator took over, they got a little bit more gadgety, probably, a little bit more exotic, and then as that's evolved, they had some quarterback things, and playing Sam Jackson at quarterback, and they turned that into a little bit more of a run deal. And now with Zane Flores back at quarterback is a new identity yet. So it's just it's been evolving. So it's been a difficult prep that way. We've prepped for a lot of stuff. If there's 670 snaps of offense, we've prepped for 670 snaps, and I'm sure that we're going to see some things that we haven't seen. But we're just trying to work on rules and principles, and that's probably the scariest thing.
With that in mind, they had an off week also.
Mm-hmm.
Do you kind of expect a little circus act here?
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, they're really well coached as far as you're going to see the same picture twice, off week or no off week. And I think with the more time they have, the more exotic maybe they can be. And they've got a good little cachet of trick plays and gadgets and things too that are going to test our eye discipline. So that's been a big emphasis for us as well. So we just got to play sound and we got to do our jobs.
How do you overcome the Romaine loss?
Yeah, it's going to be by committee. You're not going to replace him with one guy. He's extremely valuable to us. But fortunately, Des Purnell is there, and he's got room to carry some of that burden on his shoulders. And, the Asa Newsoms, the Gabe Powers, the Rex Van Wise of the world, the Bo Palmers, those guys are going to have to go. And they've been playing in games, so it's not like they're not capable of doing that, but their role has increased now. When it gets to be the heat, they've got to be ready to withstand the heat, and it'll be exciting to see how those guys respond to that. Bo's healthy is a relative term, I guess. We get to week 9, but he's healthier than he's been, and I feel bad for Bo this year because he's been trying so hard to get back in the lineup, and he just hasn't quite been what he's been in the past. And but yeah, if we need him, Bo can go.
Chris mentioned both Rex and Desmond might have the green dot. Is there one you would be communicating with more than the other?
We've been working on doing it with Des. Rex is accustomed to that. He's had that in his, he's had that all season. There may be packages where both of those guys are in there at the same time. That's where things get a little bit tricky. We ran into that one time, I think it was North Dakota, where they had an explosive play that got down to a red zone where both of them were in the game at the same time, and now Rex is running out of the game trying to get a new helmet, and it causes some chaos. Might be some obstacles that way, but I've been hammering those guys with different things, and sometimes I get real wordy. I've gotten more wordy with Austin Romaine as the season's gone on. I think with Des, first time with the helmet, I think he'd probably just rather play, and so I'll talk to him pre-snap maybe, and there's even times pre-snap where I don't say anything, a lot of times actually, and I just let him get into the flow of the game, and if there's something that he needs, I'll try to get it to him and be as brief as I can be.
What's Austin do for that defense that you won't be able to replace?
Calm, leadership. There's certain guys on our defense, and I had this talk with actually Colby McAllister yesterday, who has been out all season, but there's certain guys that I think that when they're in the game just calm things down. BJ Payne's one of those guys. When he's out there, I think guys are just more relaxed. They just feel more comfortable. Austin Romaine's one of those guys. When he's out there, it doesn't matter how fast things are going, what's happening, circumstances of the game. I think when he's out there and you're a defensive lineman, you turn around and see him, you feel pretty dang good about what's going on or our ability to get a stop. And so, hopefully those guys that are going to be taking his place can earn that. I think Dez is one of those guys, certainly, but, when those two guys are out there in tandem, it's satisfying for me. Now somebody else is going to have to take that role.
Coming off a loss and then a bye week, as coaches, are there any buttons you can press to get these guys fired up for the next game?
Our guys are, guys know what's at stake here. We still have a quarter of the season left. And, my message to them on Monday was simply, it hasn't been the season that we hoped to have. But defensively, I assumed there was going to be some growing pains, and there were certainly. we've gotten better as things have gone on. Even despite the injuries and despite some of the obstacles that we've had, we're improving. And these last 3 games are really going to be the litmus test to see how far we've come since August. And 2 road games and different styles, and it's going to be a challenge. And it's always been tough for us in Stillwater, as Coach mentioned. I know on Monday he had the same message for the team. So it's really a great challenge for us. So that I don't think they need motivation. I think they understand what's going on. They'll be ready to play.